Baker Mayfield had been playing well since the Browns lost to the Steelers earlier in the year, but he stumbled against the Jets, and it's led to national criticism, including that of Pro Bowler Brandon Marshall. Here's what he had to say. When you need Baker Mayfield to win a game for you, he loses a game. If this game came down to interceptions because there were mishaps, because there wasn't any continuity between Baker and his tight ends, we can say, okay, that's an issue. But this game down to the guy holding onto the ball, that's disturbing. Once again, in critical moments, Baker Mayfield will lose it for you. If we look back to the last time Baker Mayfield played Pittsburgh, he struggled quite a bit. He had 10 completions, 18 attempts for 119 yards, threw 2 interceptions, and he was sacked for a season high 4 times, which actually tied for the most times he's been sacked this season. The other time? Last weekend against the Jets. So, what do you guys think of Brandon Marshall's comments on Baker Mayfield? He has to face in probably the biggest game of his career this weekend against Pittsburgh. Is he up to the task?
All right, first of all, D-Man, Brandon Marshall's full of stuff. He says every time he put the game in his hands, he loses it. You want to tell me when? What game did he lose when they put it in his hands? If you're talking about losing this game against the Jets, when you ask a guy to throw the ball 53 times, you're putting a lot of responsibility on his plate, and I think it's totally wrong to say he had the opportunity to win it and he didn't do it. That's low-hanging fruit that doesn't make any sense to me. Brandon Marshall has apparently not been following the scene this year on Baker Mayfield and the Cleveland Browns.
Yeah, Les, I'm not saying that I didn't think that the criticism would be coming after the Jets game, because I did think it would. And Marshall's not the only one who sounded off. And, I think the critics have been lying in wait to get after Mayfield because he's been on such a roll. The Mayfield critics are like, all right, just wait. And they got their opportunity to pounce on Sunday when the Jets game did not unfold well for the Browns and Baker didn't look good. But, here's the thing.
Criticism of Roethlisberger.
What's that, Les?
Where's all the criticism about Roethlisberger, who cost them several games down the stretch?
Well, but Roethlisberger's got a resume and he's got Super Bowls, plural. So I get that. But here's what we're dealing with, Les. I look at the 5 losses, okay? Because you're not going to tell me in his rookie year that he played any really meaningful games. For him, yes. For the team, no. Second year, I guess he played a few meaningful games, but the season went off the rails really quickly, and he wasn't all that good anyway. So, I don't know. I'm not worried about that year. This year, though, meaningful football, 10-5. He's the quarterback on a 10-5 team. The 5 losses. He didn't play well at Baltimore. There's no question about it. In the opener, he didn't look good, nor did his team. He didn't play well at Pittsburgh. He was abysmal at Pittsburgh. He didn't look good, nor did his team. Lost to the Raiders at home. Really didn't have a chance to do much. Neither he nor Derek Carr, the quarterback for the Raiders, was able to do much because of the weather. That's another loss. The loss against the Jets, he didn't play well, but he was missing his top 4 receivers. The other big game that turned into a loss was the Ravens at home, and he was lights out. He was tremendous. Now, yes, he threw a pick that almost resulted in a pick 6. Might as well have been. But he was really, really, really good in that game. So I'm only pinning 2 to 3 at the most losses on Baker Mayfield. 1 at Pitt, 1 at Baltimore, and 1 against the Jets. And even pinning it on him for the Jets is a stretch. So if you're going to tell me during the course of a season that a quarterback is only going to be responsible for 3 losses, I'll sign up for that every single time.
Give me those wins he's responsible.
What's that, Les?
I say give me the wins he's responsible for. I'll take them happily.
He's helped his team win 10, and he's responsible or largely or partly responsible for 3, maybe 4 if you really want to stretch it. I'll take those odds, okay? Yeah. But here's the key to it. Everything I just said doesn't mean a thing if he doesn't deliver on Sunday, because Sunday is easily the biggest game of his career. I mean, that's the understatement of the year.
Yeah.
He
And the biggest
what?
and the
What's
biggest
that?
game biggest game for the Cleveland Browns in 20 years.
Yeah.
So we'll see. And Brandon Marshall, I think I hope he's wrong. I think he's wrong. But even if he's not wrong, I think the logic he used is faulty here. But
Well,
should he have played better? Yeah, but you can't put every win and every loss on every quarterback. That's it.
right. And we could talk about how significant the games were down the stretch in 2007 when the Browns lost a couple they shouldn't have lost and finished 10-6 and out of the money. But when you're sitting here trying to get into the playoffs for your franchise for the first time since 2002, and it's all there in front of you, and you're facing Mason Rudolph, which to me is the ultimate gamesmanship by Mike Tomlin, because Tomlin's looking at this and he's saying risk reward. I know that if I want to go anywhere in the postseason, I've got to have Ben Roethlisberger. Is it worth the risk for Roethlisberger to potentially get injured in a game where we're not going to move much? Yes, the Steelers could finish in the 2 seed, but what's the difference between the 2 seed and the 3 seed when there's no bye? All right, and he knows the Bills have the tiebreaker over the Steelers, and they're going to be at home facing the Dolphins. So most likely the Bills are going to win that game, and he's not going to move out of his 3 seed anyway.
Right.
Why not send Rudolph out there? And on top of that, he knows that the Browns know that Roethlisberger owns the Browns.
Right.
So he says, you know what? I'll run Rudolph out there, and if we beat you with Rudolph, then we really, 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 really own you.